Hello everybody. Today we are making delicious sugar cookies, and so we are going to start this video with just the recipe itself. Now these are cookies that I take orders for, and the customers have always been really happy with them, so I believe they are good. So this order I'm going to do a double recipe, so I'm going to double every ingredient that goes into it. Normally one recipe will do about a dozen and a half, about 18 cookies, and I'm doing 3 dozen, so I'm just doubling it. Okay, so one recipe calls for 2 1/4 cups of flour, so I'm going to double that. Just 1. 2. And a 4th. Okay, so I'm doing just the dry ingredients first in this bowl. And also I want to point out that I'm using Market Pantry. This is the Target brand of flour. There's absolutely no reason to use expensive, fancy ingredients, to be honest. Alright, so there was 2 1/4, so I'm just going to do 2 1/4 again. And now I'm switching to Stater Brothers store brand, so it really is fine. Okay, I like to use a butter knife to just flatten it out to make sure there's no like hair pockets. 2. And a 4th. So we have 4 1/2 cups of flour in here right now. Okay, that's our first dry ingredient. And then we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, so 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. But I will double it, and I know that that's 1 full, but I'm just going to, for the sake of this, do 2 halves. 1, 2. And then the last part of the dry ingredients is 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And I know it's really easy to do a little too much salt, so I usually like to put some into a measuring cup first, and then I can pour it back in after, whatever I don't use. So 1/4, and doubling it, so another 1/4. Okay, you want to mix those dry ingredients so they're all blended well. And you are ready to move on to the wet ingredients. So we'll just put this aside for now. And I am in no way clean. I make a mess, unfortunately. But moving on to the wet ingredients, we will need our mixer. Any mixer is fine, but these are nice if you have them. Okay, so first I like to put in my butter. Now the butter should be room temperature, so it's nice and soft and it can mix easily. The recipe calls for 3/4 cup. Since I am doubling it, I have 1 1/2 cups, which is 3 sticks. I promise my hands are clean. 2. And 3. All right, now when we're mixing the butter, use believe it's called a paddle. Okay, so we're gonna just mix that up and make it nice and fluffy. Okay, and then I'm going to add my sugar, which is the same amount as butter. So 3/4 of a cup. So here's my half. And my 1/4. And again, doubling, so half. And a 1/4. And I actually like to add just a little bit extra. Alright, so after the butter, you add the sugar. After the sugar, you're going to add 1 egg. It's best to get the egg a little bit room temperature, not too warm, obviously, but doubling, so 2, and it's the whole egg. And mix again. Okay, for our last ingredient in the wet ingredients, it is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Ideally, it would be clear vanilla extract, that way it adds no color to the cookie, but it really shouldn't, especially since I'm going to be icing the cookies later anyways. So I'm going to do 2 teaspoons. And doubling it, 2. And some people like adding a little bit of almond extract also right now. If you like a little bit of a nutty taste to your cookies, I'm gonna skip on that and stick to just the vanilla. I'm gonna mix this up. That's my last wet ingredient. the sides and the bottom to make sure I have everything mixed in well. Okay, and then we'll just mix it a little bit more. Alright, it's nice and blended, so now it is time to slowly add in the dry ingredients into the wet. It makes a mess, so you don't add too much at one time. So I'll usually do just a few spoonfuls at a time. I'll show you a couple of the steps, or a few of the spoonfuls, and then I will just pause and continue when it's all mixed in. KitchenAids do have a cover, which I need. Now, if anyone makes these cookies, please, please, please comment and let me know what you think of them. I would love to know other people's opinions that's making them. If you found different ingredients or a different order and you think that your cookie recipe is better, I would love to know some suggestions. But like I said at the beginning, I've had really good reviews on these cookies, so they are pretty good. I do suggest that you try them and let me know what you think. Alright, so I'm going to pause the video and I'm just going to keep doing this step. Once I have it all in, then I will restart and continue recording. I would love for you guys to subscribe. I'll be making a bunch of different dessert treats and showing you how I decorate cookies, and subscribe would be fantastic too. To be continued. Gonna check to see it's all mixed in. Okay, one last mix. And there you have it. Now time to roll it out. Alright, so we are all mixed up. One piece of advice that I got and I absolutely love is that you should always roll out your dough before chilling it, instead of chilling it and then rolling it out, because it's really tough to roll out cold dough. But if you roll it out and then chill it, they're a bit harder, a bit stiffer, so when you use the cookie cutters, they stay together better. So, best advice. So if you're doing one batch, you would still want to separate it into 2 groups. That way you're not rolling out too much. I did 3 since I doubled it. So just a little bit on each. I'm going to divide it into thirds. I washed my hands again. Now when you are also baking your cookies, you'll also want to use parchment paper on your pans. It makes life so much easier. And you will want to bake them at 350. And you know, depending on what cookie cutter you're using and what the size is, it could be as little as 7 minutes, but it also could be as much as about 12. You want to take them out when you see just a little bit of golden around the edges. So I'm just trying to divide these into 3 even groups. And use every bit of dough that I can. Okay. Rinse off the stickiness. Alright, time to roll it out. So put them aside and we'll focus on one at a time. If it seems too sticky, you can always add a little bit of flour. Now I love this roller. It comes with different attachments, so you can do different sizes. This is the 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So, gosh, it really rolls on. So there are different attachments. This one here says 1/4 inch. And what that does is it will roll out your dough to exactly the right thickness that you want. So all your cookies are consistent with each other. So we will roll it out. Okay, and I'm sticking a little bit, so I'll probably want to add a little bit of flour. Much better. Alright, so this one is at a 1/4 inch and it is ready to go into the refrigerator to chill for maybe about 15 minutes. And on to the next. Alright, since I needed a little flour on the last one, I'll assume I need it here too. Trying to keep it on the parchment paper. Okay. Alright, let me put this one in the fridge as well. And my last one. I like to go sideways a little bit just to get it a little bit closer to the edges so then I can focus on elongating it. And again, we're doing this to a 1/4 inch thickness. Alright, so once these are chilled, you can use your cookie cutters that you want to use, and you will be baking it at 350 for between 7 to 12 minutes, depending on what type of cutters you're using and how big the cookies are going to be. Alright. Again, please follow, subscribe, like, give me some comments, and let me know what you think about the recipe if you do it. and what type of cookies you make with it, what cutters you use, and how they turn out. And if you can post a picture of it in the comments, I would love to see what you do. Alright, I will be posting another video on how I decorate these, so if you are interested in how to use royal icing, then please join back. Bye.